John is the CEO and founder of Healthcare Interactive, who will be providing this program to those facilities that are approved to participate.
Thanks, Muna. Hey, everybody, I'm John. I am I'm the developer of the CARES online dementia care training program. I'm a programmer and an educator by training. I landed in dementia care about 25 years ago. I had a project with the Minneapolis VA, which led to two back-to-back projects with University of Minnesota School of Family Practice and School of Nursing. And it was shortly thereafter, about the year 2000, that my grandmother, who is in the photo here, once the presentation comes back, there we go. Was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. For those on the call who have experienced Alzheimer's in your family, it's a rough time. And because I'd been working on dementia education, I think what normally would have been for our family a lot of denial was sort of this very surreal unfolding of events between 2000 and 2004 when my grandma passed away. But really helped the stuff that I'd done around dementia care just with the VA and University of Minnesota helped tremendously. She was 96, so she had a great life. She got really funny in her final years, so we had things could have been worse. But so shortly after she died in 2004, our first CARES program launched. Some of you may have heard about CARES. It's been around since 2006. So this is our 15th year, and it started as a single program. It's now expanded to 10 programs: basics, advanced behavior, activities of daily living, end of life, serious mental illness, elder abuse, a hospital version, a family version, and a version coming out either May or June in Spanish. And so it's what this program, what the CMP effort is, are two of the programs that we very commonly bundle together. Our basics program, you'll see a short demo of that in a bit, and our behavior program. So it's kind of about the program. CARES has been the subject of over 20 peer-reviewed journal articles and associated research that's out in the academic literature. It's the only online dementia care training that's ever been directly recognized by CMS. It's been, we were co-branded with the Alzheimer's Association for many years. We're recognized as an approach to reduce the use of antipsychotics by American Healthcare Association and ACA-NCAL organization. So there's a lot of national recognition of the program. Our offices are in St. Louis Park, so you have to be based someplace, and this just happens to be where we're based, right here in Minnesota. But we work with national teams and have filmed around the country. So you'll see in the demos the use of real people and not actors, and we filmed in 25 states. So it's kind of an overview of what CARES is, and we'll talk about more of that in a bit. So David's put up this this CARES approach. Can you go back one, please? Yep, there we go. So this is this CARES approach slide. So in the training, I like to say that a lot of dementia training programs tell you about the disease. They tell you about, the most common behaviors, and they tell you the different forms of dementia. They teach good information about person-centered care. But in general, when it comes to behavior that is really difficult for staff to deal with, the programs don't tell you what to do. And so in conjunction with Alzheimer's Association, about 18 years ago, we had this national panel together, and this question came up. this is great information. We have this great beginning of a program, but we need a framework. What is there a framework that we could come up with, a step-by-step process that staff could follow in any situation with any resident at any level of decline with dementia? And this is what we came up with. So just to let you know, this has been used successfully throughout the country and Canada for the past 15 years. 5 steps, easy to learn, easy to put into play. So it's the CARES approach: connect with the person, assess behavior, respond appropriately, evaluate what works, and share with others. We introduce this in the program. We teach it step by step. We show video examples with actual residents. We actually train a nursing assistant. One of our experts trains people step by step. We see it unfold with the resident, and then we break it down and say what could have gone better and worse. And just in a very general way, I would say that most people providing dementia care, providing care in general, skip right over the C, oftentimes over the A. We're aware of the behavior, but we don't change what we're doing based off of it sometimes. We go right into the responding, the task. Here's the task. It's not working. We go back to the task. We try to explain. We get in this circle. What this approach teaches is slowing down, backing up, and making a connection with the person, getting away from the task, if even for a bit, and connecting and looking at the behavior and only proceeding when the behavior tells you that it's okay to proceed. We do what we call common approaches and CARES approaches and actual video footage. The same resident, the same care provider, the same activity with vastly different outcomes. You'll see kind of a preview to that in the videos that we'll show you today. But just to let you know, this program is different than a lot of dementia education out there because we teach this approach, we break it down, we reinforce it, we show staff examples, and then we apply it throughout the different modules. Thank you. Next slide, David. So CARES, as I said, what is this? The CARES training program with regards to this program is our basics program and our behavior program. And you would get access to that at your site on an unlimited basis for a 1-year period. So this is all your current staff, but importantly, it's also all your new hires. This is, this program, if you went to our website to buy it for one person, is $99 for one program. $159 for 2-program bundle. This is a great opportunity for all of you potentially on the call. So this gives you access on an unlimited basis at your site. This increases staff knowledge of, dementia and person-centered care, but also of behavior and how to respond to it. Really, a key concept in this program is that this idea that slowing down will save you time. Often when I present, what I hear is, this sounds great, but we don't have the time to connect. We have to go right to the task. We have a video in the program, in the basics program, of a dementia expert at Hospice of the Valley in Phoenix. And I'll kind of paraphrase what she says. Faster is not faster. Slower is faster. If we slow down our care with residents with dementia, not only are we going to avoid behavior, but we're going to get what we need to get done quicker. And it's anti, oh gosh, what's the word? It doesn't make sense that it would be that way, but slower is actually faster. We really want to get this idea across to staff. We teach this 5-step approach to respond to behavior. We use and really encourage staff to try CARES before being immediately reliant upon medication. And what we hope, if I have one hope for people going through this program, it's that at the end of the basics and behavior, they would say, staff members would say, okay, yes, it's the disease. Yes, it's maybe pain. Yes, it's someone who might be irritating the resident. Yes, it might even be some medication they're on. All of those contribute to behavior. Environment contributes. All of this stuff contributes. But you know what? I have a huge role personally from what I've seen in this program and how this person responds and behaves. Like behavior is seen as a mirror. We get these messages across. So that's my hope. Next slide. As mentioned, this CMP offers a couple of sets of training for your staff members. It's basics in behavior for all staff members. Each program is 4 modules, 4 hours. It is used successfully by nursing homes and assisted livings to meet state dementia training requirements right here in Minnesota. We meet all of the curriculum areas of the updated regs, which Moni, you'll have to correct me, but I believe it was 2019 that those went into effect. This program also funds 5 of our credentialing programs, our CARES Dementia Specialist, or CDS credentialing. This is for 5 key staff members that you designate to go through the entire 40-hour 8-program curriculum. We recommend, if you called us up today and we're just talking, we would recommend the training, but we would recommend up to 5 CDS credentialed staff to be the first line of defense to take pressure off of your DONs. So if a behavior occurs, if some situation occurs, if there's an incident, we go right to the DON, and the DON often is faced with a very difficult decision, often involving medication. What your CDS specialist will do is be that center line of defense, we'll call it, to work with staff to see what happened, to walk through the CARES approach. What happened? Well, I went in the room and I had to get so-and-so up, and when I tried to get them up, okay, well, how did you connect? Well, they didn't connect. Well, were you looking for behavior? Well, she didn't seem like she wanted to get up, but I had to get her up anyway. And try to work through in the same way that I'm talking about behavior on this call with staff members specifically. We especially recommend that there be a CDS assigned to nights and weekends, so that when the DON is not around, when your key facility administrators, trainers, social workers, when they may not be around, that there's someone on the staff that can help. So this program is this 2-tiered system. In addition, and we don't have a bullet here, I apologize for that, but we built in monthly webinars for administrators and site champions on improving quality care overall in your facility. So, you know, there's training that'll help staff, but then there are things that you can do on a facility basis that will help quality of care as well. So that's built in. So this package funds all of that. Next slide. Yep. So if you apply and are part of this award, the CMP award, we'll designate 1 or 2 site champions at your facility, and we'll ask some general things from them. 1 is to be open to this project. 2 is to become a believer that resident care can actually be improved. Behavior can be improved. There are things we can do with our staff that will make everyone's life better, primarily the resident, but also our staff members. You know, be willing to work with us on the implementation of CARES, be willing to work on the effort and be responsive to communication. So in putting this program together for 15 years, these sets of training, customers have come to us over this period and said, you know, it would be really nice, flyers that I can post in my break room. Okay, well, we have those. Little cards that I can hand out at a staff meeting. Well, we have those. We can send those to you. Worksheets that staff can fill out as they're going through the program. People like worksheets. Well, we have those for you to download. Continuing ed forms that you can submit for your, your licensed staff. Well, we have those. So we have all of this stuff, and we can make it available to you. You have to, make an effort to be responsive and to work with us, and to encourage your staff. And of course, let us know if you're having any issues. But in general, for site license, we can get you the information. You have to work with us to implement it. But we're here for you. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a sec. So support, as I mentioned, these monthly webinars for administrators, kind of a Q&A as well on how the program's going. Facility and training support. We have phone support, regular business hours, 9 to 4:30. We have email support. We have chat support. That's all right on our website, right where staff log in. Right under the login button is a contact us form, and this is available to anyone, anytime. And I would just suggest for all of you as well, if you are a part of this and you have any trouble whatsoever, do not struggle with this program. We've done it for 15 years. We do it nationally. We help sites all around the country every single day. So just give us a call and we'll help you through. And next slide. So this is the first of the two programs. The basics program, it's broken into 4 modules. Meet Claire Jones is our person-centered care introduction. So we talk all about person-centered care, how to bring person-centered care and what you know about the person into your training so that we're not jumping right into task-based care. You know, I have seen miracles by spending 15 seconds, not long periods, connecting with someone over what we know about them and something that's interesting to them. Introduction to Dementia, we look at the changes that occur to the brain. We look at the stages. We look and get this concept of a gradual decline, but you know, you'll have good days and bad days. We call it a fluctuating gradual decline. We show examples. We show staff interacting with people at all different stages of Alzheimer's. The module 3 is all about behavior, but not just here's all the bad behavior you'll see. The focus of this module is understanding behavior is communication. Behavior is communication. Many of you have heard this before, but we have videos that we show, and we just ask you as you're going through the program, what's being communicated? What is this resident communicating through this behavior? Sometimes it's quite obvious, other times not. And then finally, we introduce and really break down the CARES approach like I described. So we have a quick 4-minute video that David will play here. It'll just give you a little bit of a view of what the inside of the program looks like.
The journey to becoming an expert caregiver to those living with dementia starts with the basics. CARES Dementia Basics is designed for professionals who work in long-term or home care settings. It is also a solid introduction to person-centered care in any care setting.
Person-centered care to me is really just looking at that person as a whole human being. It's not about a bunch of tasks to be done, but it's about giving that person the dignity and respect they deserve for their life.
Accepting or knowing that our reality isn't necessarily reality for the person who has dementia, and that has to be okay.
It's so simple. It's just treat somebody how you'd like to be treated.
Learn to recognize the stages that those living with Alzheimer's go through and how to modify your approach accordingly.
Notice how carefully Frances watches herself in the mirror, how skillfully she uses the comb. Now Frank is able to use his old familiar electric razor, and he watches himself carefully in the mirror. But he needed a little help getting set up and started, even though it's an old familiar razor.
Here, I'll have you go ahead and put it on. Let me switch to the other side.
The reason I switched to the other side is that I know Susie's dominant hand is her right hand, and I want to use the skill that she's practiced for many years.
You hold to me and I'll put it on.
Okay. What we often call behavior is probably a way to communicate. They can't tell you any longer, I need 2 Tylenol over here, my shoulder really hurts.
What possesses you to do something like that?
And so staff just need to understand that what we often see as behavior is communication.
It's impossible for you to do a good job if you're not patient. You have to be a patient person. Just look at it on the line as, okay, this can be my mom or dad, grandmother, grandfather. And if you can do those 2 things, you will be fine.
CARES and the CARES approach have never been more important. I can't stress enough how important it is for you to really take hold of what CARES is about, what CARES means, and using it during these very challenging times to be successful in providing care.
You can get some.
Marianne was a busy homemaker and likes to help in the kitchen. On most mornings, Sita, the aide, assists Marianne in the kitchen with the morning snack. Knowing that Marianne should bathe today, Sita decides to take advantage of this time when Marianne is content and well connected with her. Later, you'll see how Sita guides Marianne to the bathroom without mentioning a shower.
You gotta make sure it's all clean, huh? Okay.
Sita realizes that Marianne is concerned about the dirty counter, so she responds by giving her a minute to wash off the counter before they continue making the toast.
You wanna open up the bread? Can you do that?
Sita knows that Marianne is able to do most of the steps herself, so she prompts her along the way. Keeping her involved in the activity makes it more meaningful and enjoyable for Marianne.
You can put the toast in here now. Put 2 slices in here. Are you gonna have that now? Yeah. All right.
Sita can see that Marianne is enjoying making and eating her toast. This has been a great way to connect and build trust with Marianne. Marianne seems very content, and Sita decides this would be a good time to walk with her down to the bath area.
Now, what do you think about this?
I don't know, what is this?
This is a bathtub.
Sita was much more successful getting Marianne to the bath area using this approach. After chatting for a few more minutes, Marianne agrees to try the bathtub. Sita should share with the team that Marianne can get upset at the mention of a shower out of the blue. Be creative and make use of activities that you'll be doing with Marianne during the day when she feels comfortable with you to transition her to a personal care activity like bathing.
In addition to premium video content, CARES courses are full of interactive activities, knowledge checks, and supplemental worksheets, so you can take notes and complete exercises in ways that you will remember and put into practice. At the end of the program, you may access a free, fully integrated online certification exam, thereby earning the CARES Dementia Basics certification. After finishing with Basics, you can earn 7 more certifications, take a credentialing exam, and become a credentialed CARES Dementia Specialist.
When we're working with our residents with dementia, everything we do centers around just treating some with dignity and respect and honor them for who they are.
The most confused person can respond in a very positive way if you treat them with genuine love, with dignity.
Thanks very much. A portion of CARES was filmed here locally, so some of you may have seen some familiar faces in some of the video footage. So that's a preview of the Basics program. The behavior program, CARES Dementia-Related Behavior, takes just that behavior component and really drills down on some of the more difficult and challenging situations for staff. I don't know if you can see that second bullet in Module 1, a word about words. This program starts out with a word about words. Words matter. How we talk about residents matter. If we refer to, the crazy lady in 103 is at it again, this is how we'll think about this resident. So we encourage staff not to talk about challenging behavior, difficult behavior, and inappropriate behavior. We use the term dementia-related behavior. We put the blame of the behavior, if you want to call it blame, on the disease and not the person. So this is this very person-centered national approach to behavior. So we do an introduction to behavior in Module 1. We use CARES approach again with before and after, common approach and CARES approaches. Module 2, you'll see some of that in the demo. We break down the A and the R, the assessing behavior and responding steps specifically. And then we go into key responses to dementia-related behavior in Module 4. So we have again, these are 4-hour programs. And if I went into the actual program, I could easily talk for an hour or 2 on each, just walking you through. But let's watch this 4-minute preview on the next screen to get an idea of what this program is all about as well.
CARES Dementia-Related Behavior is perhaps one of the most important programs within the suite of CARES products. Difficult behavior being a form of communication for those living with dementia is the core theme of this program.
You okay?
How would you feel if a stranger came in and tried to undress you? How would you feel if you were taken to a room that wasn't a bathroom that you were familiar with? Maybe the lighting's different. Maybe the tub is different. Maybe the smells are different.
And I look like I'm pretty angry, and I got that tense jaw, and then I start to talk to them louder and louder, and I got that neck thing going on because I'm talking so loud, and I look like I'm angry, and so I'm going to get anger back from them.
If you're raising your voice and responding because you're frustrated, then that will just make the person with dementia even more frustrated. So again, it's a mirror concept.
And usually she's anxious because she doesn't have her babies. So we gave her babies back to her, and it keeps her calmer. She tends to stay in one spot more and doesn't wander looking for them.
One message about dementia-related behaviors is assume people are scared. And if you think about that each time you see someone who looks like they're behaving uncharacteristically or aggressively, you'll do fine.
Is something causing irritation, pain, fear? What does the person find comforting or pleasing? Also, pay attention to the way the person responds to you. As you try to connect, is she receptive to your approach? If not, think about why. Is she cold, tired, or in pain?
Take a step back and imagine, what is that person experiencing in that moment?
You cannot try to bring them into your world. You can't talk louder, you can't talk firmer and think that that's going to get them to understand.
It's not only important to follow the care steps, but also to do so in a way that is warm, positive, and meaningful.
Okay.
I think I'm through with it.
Notice how Jordan and Peggy use the opportunity while Anna is engaged and laughing, and distracted from wanting to stay in bed, to get her feet on the ground, which encourages her to get up and keep moving.
Learn from experts how to use the positive physical approach.
It's going to look like something like come from the front, go slow, get to the side, get low, offer your hand. Now I want to call the person by name. Okay, to make sure he's connected with me, he knows who I'm talking to, he knows what we're going to do.
And then observe caregivers put this new technique in practice.
Notice how she calls Dusty by name.
Hey, Dusty.
And approaches him from the front, slowly. She crouches down to get at eye level and offers her hand, palm up. You can see how it doesn't take long for Dusty to smile and feel connected to her after she offers her hand and lets him know why she's by.
Mr. Sanders has been waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning every day and demanding to get showered and dressed. When the care staff tries to get him back in bed, he becomes verbally and physically aggressive, even cursing and hitting sometimes. Clue: Mr. Sanders was the owner of the local donut shop, and it was his responsibility to make sure the donuts were ready at 5 a.m. for the customers.
And she said, "Where's Mom and Dad?" And I said, "Well, let's see. Where would they be right now? Wouldn't Dad be out in the fields?" And she goes, "Oh, yes. And Mom is probably making dinner." I said, "That's probably where they are." Now, Jack did not like that. He thought it was a lie. I said, "It's a therapeutic fib. Look at her, Jack. Every time you tell her they're dead, you're trying to get her into your world. You can't do that. It doesn't work. You need to go into hers," which means we have to be kind, which means we have to fib.
And we've learned that faster is not faster. Slower is faster. So we slow down our pace. People understand what we're doing, and it makes more sense to them.
Well, there we go. There was my quote. Yeah, faster is not faster. Slower is faster. Hopefully through those brief demos of the program, you get an idea of the type of footage that your staff will see, the messaging that your staff will see, and maybe, just maybe, our ability to step back and change our thinking, even if we've done dementia care for a long time, to see if there are some changes or some new techniques that we might use. We get testimonials emailed to us quite frequently along the lines of, I've been doing dementia care for 20 years and never thought I could learn another thing, but I really learned something from this program. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit here. In addition to the training, as part of this, you as the site champion or administrator or educator would have access to our back-end system to look to see how your staff are doing. So this is called the My Account portal. There's this red box is basics. There would be a second green box for behavior. And the first couple, the receipt, the renewal button, the active, the expiration date, and the product key those are kind of all taken care of through CMP. So not to worry about any of those. Main menu exam give you options on whether to require that certification exam or not that was referenced in the videos. So once you finish all 4 modules of each program, the staff can take a 30-point certification exam. It's directly linked from the main menu, 80% pass rate, unlimited tries to pass. So, and we don't give you the answer, but we do tell you which answers were wrong. So, and once staff do that, it's some, assurance on your end that they have grasped the main concepts, but also I think a really important marketing potential for you and your facility. If you require this and have staff go through, we as an organization allow you to use our CARES logo in advertising or in a local promotion. You can say that your staff are CARES certified in dementia basics and behavior. You can promote many organizations, especially those in smaller communities with local papers, will promote like their monthly recognition board in the local paper on people who have gotten certified in dementia care to sort of recognize them in the community. If you're in a larger community and that's not a possibility, we have organizations and we recommend that you post certificates out maybe in a hall near the nursing station. We have a facility in North Carolina who reduces certificates to 50%, cuts construction paper out to give it sort of a colored frame, nothing fancy, it takes her 2 seconds, and she posts them. And she has hundreds on the wall. And it does a couple of things. One, it is motivating for staff. It's great recognition. She also recognizes them in staff meetings. But families notice and take note and make comments about how wonderful it is to see that staff are certified. That fourth one, or let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that number, the usage, hard to see on my screen, so might be hard for you to see, but that's just a quick view of how many people have, Thank you, David, have logged on and are actively engaged with your program. The next one is a report, which I'll show you in a sec. The second to the last is group training. So this program is, if you're a facility that has an educator or an administrator who likes to do in person, think of CARES as your curriculum. Bring staff members together, pre-COVID times, and hopefully getting back to some semblance of normal will be more commonplace again. Get people together as you would, have a sign-in sheet, project CARES up on a projector, and go through it as a group, stop, have discussions, talk about some of your actual residents. And once you do that and people go through all 4, you can enter them in using this group training feature to get them in the system so that they're then eligible to take the exam. And then the last one is admin tools. And this is to correct misspellings in names or, we fully recognize that people are not super tech savvy. So sometimes people will create 1 or 2 or 3 accounts and there's a way to join all those so people don't lose any of their time. And I should also mention this program is fully mobile compatible. It works great on a computer and it's the largest screen, so it's what we recommend. But looks great on an iPad and even looks great on a phone. And no matter where staff go into, they can go in multiple times, they can go from multiple devices. All of their time is tracked on the server. And so they don't have to worry about that. You can come back as many times as you want. Do 10 minutes today, an hour tomorrow, come in for a session. It all just goes together. So sort of this behind the scenes. Yep. This is the visual of what both the user sees from the main menu and what you have a vision of. So here's Jean. Jean's doing great. She's got 3 modules done. She's well on her way to the 4th one. The third to the last column says screens, and you'll see 15 out of 15. So we have 2 requirements to get that green check mark, that you view all of the screens, but that's easy enough. Clickety click, 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 and you got 15 out of 15. We also have required time, 40 minutes. If your staff members tell you, well, I did the modules, but it didn't give me my time, what that means is they went too quickly. What you say to them is, if you simply watch the videos, you will have enough time. It's a very video intensive program. These programs acknowledge that online training in text form will make your eyes roll onto the back of your head. But online training in video form is engaging, and people are really, glued to the screen. So if they just go through the video, they should have no problem meeting that. Next screen. This next person, John, has gotten off to a bit of a start. 5 screens out of 15 for module 1, but he's put 25 minutes in. I would have some concerns. 5 screens might take you 5 or 10 minutes, but it shouldn't take you 25. He clicked into module 2, hasn't done anything in 3 and 4. So if he's been at this a while, if he just clicked in to kind of see and planned on getting started later, fine. But if it's been a while since he logged in, let's see, first login date was the 20th, and the last login date was the 25th. So if that's the case, I might have a conversation with him about what the barrier is. Next slide. Yep, so here, Josephina has completed the whole program. She's got that training certificate available. If you click on that, it comes right up and you print the certificate out. A lot of staff, as it turns out, don't have printers. My kids don't have printers. I think it's really funny. I say, how do you print? Well, what do you need to print for? I think it's generational or something. A lot of facilities will print certificates out on a card stock and give them out at staff meetings. When CARES was first launched in 2006, one of the huge surprises in my life was that staff really valued certificates. I think for people on this call, we get a fair number of certificates and recognition and continuing ed, forms and all that. Like, we just have a lot of that is part of our professional careers. For certain people, we've had comments like, I've never received a certificate for anything in my life. It can be a big deal, and staff can really feel good about it. And to let you know, you have the ability to print this through that admin portal. So let's go one more slide, David. This last person, June, is the superstar. She's gone through the entire thing. She has her training certificate, but she also took and passed the exam. And so can print this specialized certification certificate. The CARE certification is good for a 2-year period. The training is always there. The certification can be acknowledged and used by either you or the employee for a 2-year period before that expires. So it's sort of the back end. One other slide, just to say this visual is great if you're looking individually, but if you have 100 employees, 150 employees who go through this, trying to scroll through is not super efficient. So we have all the data that's fully downloadable to spreadsheets as well. Next screen. So here we go. This is just our sample account. You'll see Jean and Josephina and June. Column N, did they complete the training? Yes or no, and when? Column P, did they pass the certification exam? Yes or no, and when? Column R, Did any part of their training get done, even one module, through a group training session where you presented, yes or no? It's just for your info. Total time in column AA, first log on and last log on. There's a very old user account. You can see this is from 2011, so apologies for that. But in general, this can be sorted. Through, if you're used to sort and multiple sort categories, we'll often sort by, is the program complete, with the certification, then module by module, which are some columns that I've hidden here. And in that way, you can see exactly who's done things, who's gotten a good start, and who's yet to start. So that's something our staff can walk you through if you're not. I use Excel personally about 20 times a day. It's my right hand, but I realize that a lot of people and numbers do not get along. So we're here to help and support you with that. All right, next screen. Yep, so if you're part of this program, there's a rollout, and there are materials that we will send you. I'd reference these 8.5 by 11 sheets, CARES cards. We send the example only format is for you as the site champion, with everything that you can do behind the scenes and the portal. The form in the upper right is you type your nursing home name in the front. We actually send these to you fully filled out with your product keys, the logon keys to get into the program. And that's it. You hand these to employees, and employees go from there. It's everything they need to be successful. So just to let you know, there's all these materials in the background. You don't have to, we try to make this as very easy as possible. And as I say to site champions all the time, if you don't know the answer in about 1 minute, do not struggle. Just have your employee give us a call. Well, I did this and this happened and I couldn't get the video play. Well, having the video play on someone's iPad is not your expertise or your problem. That's our problem. So send them to us. We'll take care of them. Okay, next screen. Just some strategies for rollout to consider. I like to, as a trainer, as an educator, I like to think of training as what I call the 50-30-20 rule. If you print those sheets out and give them to staff, 50% of your staff will buzz right through. You know which ones they are. They'll have no trouble. They'll be successful. Another 30% with a little bit of prodding and reminding will make it through. The last 20%, you'll bang your head against the wall trying to get them through. So they might be good candidates to bring in after a shift and go through maybe 2 modules one day, 2 modules the next day, or 2 modules a month for 4 months, or just some strategy, or get them started. We did a research study a number of years ago, and what we showed in the research was staff who complete module 1 was something like 98% of participants who completed module 1 made it all the way through the program. Those that didn't complete module 1 were the ones that were your 20%. So even if you get them together and say, you know what, you'll really like this program, come on in for 1 hour after work today or after your shift. Let's go through module 1. We'll mark you off. And then, you can continue on your own. Often just seeing the engaging video is enough to really get people started. Do Zoom sessions for that last 20%. We'll even do, as part of this effort, we'll conduct the sessions. We'll do a session from 3:30 to 4:30 on module 1. We'll present it over Zoom. All you need to do is get people together, set the sign-in sheet up, and then work with us to get those names in your account afterwards. But we'll even do the work on that. Consider incentives. We had a nursing home in Missouri, I believe it was, a number of years ago, who their goal was to train everyone in basics and another program, CARES Advanced Care, on our safety topics, wandering falls, restraints, etc. And she was really having trouble. And we just suggested, why don't you try? We've had success with a drawing, $50 or $70 gift card to, a Target or Amazon or whatever. And she had a Walmart in town, and she decided to do 2 $75 gift cards for anyone who completed by the end of the month. And she had 90% of her staff complete, out the door and done. within, and what she said was, you have to do this anyway, so why not get it done, and then we will, and you're eligible for these incentives. Also, you know, families, I'll tell you from a family's point of view, both of my grandmothers and my aunt and godmother all declined with Alzheimer's, and you want to help, and facilities need only ask. You know, we're having a promotion for staff. Would you consider donating a gift card to Caribou or Donut Shop or Target or anything? Families would love to do it if you ask, and if they know that it's going for a quality and program like improved dementia care. I mentioned, you know, the copying and posting of certificates, using an observation tool that we'll be providing as a role play activity at staff meetings, and then recognizing staff, as I said, at staff meetings. I had a boss years ago who said, you know, recognition costs us nothing. It is so important. People love it. They feel empowered, and there is zero price to it. We just have to do it. Next screen.
Excellent, John. So the next one would be I was going to read some quotes. I'm going to, just for the sake of getting some questions for everybody, sure. I'll just jump in here quickly, and we'll skip the quotes there. But that was excellent. Thanks so much, John. We had everything's going to be due. Your applications are due August 1st of this year. But I do want to stress that everybody knows, even though it's due August 1st, the program won't start until September. So the program and training won't begin until September. But just trying to get all your applications in by August 1st. So that'd be, you know, just get them in there. And then we have the grant covers the entirety. So it's $65,42.96. If you guys are aware, with the CMP offerings, many times it's a match. You know, like for example, Cycling Without Age is a match, half and half. This is covered in full, the entirety. So 6542, so it's going to pay the whole thing. So it's really a benefit to jump in. And get in on this. It's just really, really good. So, and I put in the chat box also the application. This will also be available for you guys to grab. It's easy fillable format. We can help you with this as well if you get stuck. But now at this point, I'll turn it over to Muna.
Thanks, David and John, both of you. Okay, just a couple of words about completing the application. We want to make sure that you complete the application thoroughly, but keep in mind, more is not necessarily better. You want to make sure that it's clear, easy to understand, concise. It's not about length, but completeness. Answer all the questions and submit to the correct email address. What do we mean by complete all the questions? So if you get a question, for example, that says, describe how you will educate residents and their families or other representatives about the benefits of this program and how you may invite them to participate. That's a two-part question. So you've got two questions there you really need to answer. So being complete is very important. When all else fails, use the question to provide the answer, and you'll see if you've answered it. How you can ask the question back to yourself. We will describe how to educate residents and their families and other representatives by. We will invite representatives, residents, and families to participate by. So think of it that way, kind of a shortcut on how to do that. Okay, next question here, or next slide. And a little bit about facility responsibilities. If you're successful in making your application and being selected to participate in this wonderful CMP opportunity, you are agreeing as a facility to your active participation in the program, to working with the healthcare interactive staff to implement the training in your facility, and working with HCI again to complete an assessment of the program, because you will have reporting responsibilities to the state, because we're responsible to report to the federal government on how these CMP projects go. And then, of course, you have to submit your program invoices to DHS in a timely manner so that you can receive reimbursement. And last but not least, let your staff fully participate so everyone can gain from the experience, especially your residents. Thank you.
Excellent. And we got that. We have about a few minutes here for questions. Thank you, Moon and John. I do have one that came through. Pam's asking, can more than one facility from the same organization apply, or is this for one facility any size? I'll defer that
so
to
I can
Muna.
take that on.
Yeah.
So more than one facility from the same organization can apply, but because this we are executing these as contract amendments on your APS contract, each facility has to apply individually. If you have a large organization, you can certainly have one person in the organization completing the application for multiple facilities in your organization, but we do need an individual application for each facility. Hope that answers.
Anybody you can unmute or you can chat if you have any questions. Somebody, in case you didn't read the chat there, somebody asked if the slides will be available. And it will be on in a couple of days. We'll have this link for the video and you can get all the stuff at the same location where you found this. Or you can email Muna as well. She can get the information to that. Another question is, so the fee does not matter if you have 300 employees or 75 employees.
I can speak to that. This is John. That's correct. So this is unlimited. Not only is it no difference between 300 or 75, it's any new hires. If you have 300 staff to train, this is also additional people who are coming on over the next year who you would bring on. So from September to September of 2022. So whatever your current staff size is, I would encourage you to also think of the opportunity as, whatever your turnover is. You have those numbers for your facility in the back of your head in general terms, but this applies to all of them.
Another question came in here. Does this fund the program for 1 year of use?
It does. It funds both programs, basics and behavior, technically 2 different programs for the full year. And then those 5 credentialing programs are structured a little differently, but those are also available. For the full use and benefit, we would encourage you to identify those people early on in the process and have them complete so that you have the benefit of those specialists on staff as the rest of the people are going through the program.
Excellent. All right, looks like we're 3 more minutes. Any last questions here? If anybody has any questions, we'll monitor the chat. I will at this point too, I'll put on here on the screen so you can see my screen. I'm going to put on here the emails. They're also in your chat box on the side, but Muna and John would be our contacts. You can write this down and email these guys. Excellent. All right, I think that's most of our stuff. You guys see the emails here. Muna and John, thanks everybody for joining today. Appreciate it. Thanks again, John, for your expertise. Muna, for jumping in here.
Thank you.
And this will be posted on the web, so you can see a recording later on this, but I encourage you guys get those in by August 1st.